Good morning, Genesis. Welcome to Carco Theatre, and let us go ahead and get started with our opening song. Well, it is so great to see everybody here at Carco, and we are so grateful for those that joined us online. I'd like to welcome you today to our celebration service. For those of you that are online, please know that Cal is your communication link for this Sunday service. And if you're a first-timer online, you're invited to say hi to Cal and let us know where you're from and how you found us in the chat. So Genesis is continuing its minister search. We have our profile and invitational video available for review on the CSL Minister Listserv. We are starting to receive resumes, and we'll have more information to share if they pass the interview process. In the meantime, let us all join in saying our new minister's Sacred Covenant Easy Prayer. There is only one life. This life is good. This life is God. This life is my life now. And in knowing that I am one with this life that is God, I therefore know that I am one with all its blessed expressions, which includes the presence of a new minister for my beloved spiritual community. Because I know that the highest purpose of my new minister is to glorify God, I therefore know that my new minister is a revelation of God as love. I further know that my new minister is the fulfillment of that which has been promised by God, for it is written, I dwell in the house of love. Love attends me in my home of the soul. I shall never leave this home of the spirit. I shall abide in this home forevermore. As I stand in agreement with my beloved community, I see my new minister before me as revealing the truth and the power of love. I now intend to experience my new minister in full cooperation and agreement with my community, knowing this truth for myself, for I am powerfully expressing divine love, inspiring all to do the same. I am blessing and honoring all paths of spirituality, awakening deeper truths and spiritual growth. I am a place where God shows up, expressing divine love, allowing truth and joy to heal all. I am embracing, teaching, and exploring spiritual truths from diverse spiritual teachings. I am teaching and embodying prosperity, trusting that God is the source of my good. As I now accept the highest expression of a new minister into my life, I know that they will be revealed in a way that will glorify God and serve the highest and greatest good of all who are touched by their presence. I am grateful. God is gracious. Amen. So we're going to move on into our announcements. And these announcements are just reminders of what's happening. For detailed information about the following events, please check out our website, our Facebook pages, Eventbrite, and our meetup page. So every Wednesday at 7 p.m., join Karen Williams, practitioner, and Cynthia Zink, practitioner, for intention circles via Zoom. Join us to create more miracles in our lives, and a love offering is appreciated. Then on Saturday, December 24th at 1 p.m., join us right here for our Christmas Eve service. And it will be led by Reverend Eric, and Christine S. Young. That'll be exciting. Cal Boyle and the pianist Joel Feldman. Sorry. Bring the whole family. Wear an ugly sweater if you have one, and enjoy light refreshments after services. And if anybody's wanting to share in some Christmas cookies and you're feeling adventurous and want to bake some and bring them, we could get a Christmas cookie bar going afterwards. And then we have some exciting news. We have found a new space. We want everyone to get the opportunity to take a look at it, and it is in Burien. We will be contacting the property manager to set up a visit to that space next Sunday. It's 2 Sundays. It's December 18th after service. It is located at 620 Southwest 153rd Street.
That's next Sunday.
The 18th is next Sunday.
I lied.
Well, whatever the 18th is, we're going to go check out the space. 18th of December of 2022. So, yes, please.
Very clear. Thank you.
So pledge cards. If you weren't able to submit a pledge card, you can still fill one out now outside if you're here at the Carco, or online at genesiscsl.org. If you'd like to join a care circle and you're not already a member and you'd like more information on joining a care circle, please contact Karen Williams via Facebook or see her when she's here at Carco. So first timers, is there anyone attending Genesis in person today for the first time? Looks like we're all family here. How about online, Cal? No? So it's just family in the house today. That's great. So before we go any further in the service, does anyone need a prayer card or a giving envelope? If so, please raise your hand and Andrew will come around and pass those out. Good. All right, so let's go ahead and thank the volunteers. We'd like to take this opportunity to thank everyone that is in service today. Practitioner Cynthia Zink is our volunteer coordinator and the greeter before service. Soren is back running our sounds and our lights. Michael Johns is running the camera for all of you watching from home, as well as the projector behind me. And Andrew Young is our usher and will be collecting our offering. And as I mentioned before, Cal is your communication link if you're watching online. Let's give all those folks a hand. Thank you. So today, our practitioner is Karen Williams. Karen led a meditation before service, and if you missed that, it will remain on Facebook for 30 days and is now available to be seen on YouTube. You can watch service live there as well. So check out YouTube. Make sure it's on your regular go-to search site. Subscribe, yes. I highly recommend it. Karen did a very great centering meditation today. And Karen will also be available after service if anybody would like a little bit of prayer, be it bringing a little more good into your life or something you choose to release. So now, let's go ahead and center ourselves. Center ourselves in music as we get to our beautiful song written by Reverend Eric. Why don't we go ahead and stand up and sing Out Loud.
Beyond ideas of right and wrong, there's a field. I'll meet you there. Out beyond ideas of right and wrong, there's a field. I'll meet you there. Out beyond ideas of right and wrong, there's a field. I'll meet you there. Out beyond ideas of right and wrong, there's a field. I'll meet you there. A field of love, a field for forgiveness, a peace that passes understanding. Out beyond ideas of right and wrong, there's a field. I'll meet you there. Out beyond ideas of right and wrong, there's a field. I'll meet you there. Out beyond ideas of right and wrong, there's a field. I'll meet you there. A field of love, a field for forgiveness, a peace that passes understanding. Out beyond ideas of right and wrong, there's a field. I'll meet you there. There's a field. I'll meet you there.
Good morning, Genesis family. I'm really happy to see you here today. You add light to my life, and for that I am grateful. Today's reading comes from 365, Science and Mind. I help myself. Today nothing emanates from my consciousness other than that which will bless and heal. From Galatians 3:15. But if ye bite and devour one another, take heed that ye be not consumed one of another. And from the Bhagavad Gita, I destroy the ignorance born darkness by the shining lamp of wisdom. Ernest addresses these by saying, these lessons teach us the law of cause and effect, the plaything of the soul. Sages have always taught that our thoughts and acts ride on a return circuit, and that they never fail to react upon us until we have transcended the negative causation set in motion by such acts. This is why we are taught that we should do unto others what we would like them to do to us. It is the old law of the returning circle. In this law alone can we find exact justice, and through understanding this law come to realize with Robert Browning, all's love, yet all's law. The universe imposes neither evil nor limitation upon us, nor can we impose evil or limitation upon it. However, being free agents, we may and must experience, at least temporarily, the result of our own acts. As the Bhagavad Gita tells us, the lamp of wisdom shining in the darkness of ignorance alone can free us. Realizing that the universe has bestowed upon me the divine right to be affected by my own act, today I guard all of my thoughts, seeing to it that nothing emanates from my consciousness other than that which blesses and heals. If nothing goes forth from me that can hurt, then nothing can return to me that can harm. The knowledge of this truth makes me wise. The consciousness of good at the center of my being is my sanctuary. Faith in the justice of the universe is my altar. Upon this altar I lay my offering of peace, of joy, and of prosperity for the whole world. That was very moving. So, because it was, I'm going to read just that last bit again. The consciousness of good at the center of my being is my sanctuary. Faith in the justice of the universe is my altar. And upon this altar I lay my offering of peace, of joy, and of prosperity for the whole world. Let's pray. Perfect spot to move into that exact consciousness. And so I begin at the beginning, the back of everything, the cause, love, that this is the source of all things, seen and unseen, known and unknown. That love is at the center of all things, and love is at the center of my being. And for this, I give great thanks and I return the favor, so to speak, by doing acts of kindness and joy, being a blessing, using healing words, being a healing presence on the planet. This is my commission, so to speak. It is the choice that all beings everywhere get to make, to choose the light over the darkness, and to know that that light that lives inside each of us is eternal. It cannot be extinguished by any amount of darkness. It is faithful. It is reliable. And it lives. It is alive. And it is me. It is all of us. Billions of points of light on the planet. Living creatures, the winged, the creepy crawlers, the swimmers, four-leggeds. Light, life. And so I give thanks for this. I give thanks for my knowledge, this accumulated wisdom that has been gifted to me by my actions and has gifted the potential for all of us, always. It is a gift that we can pick up at any moment. And so I give thanks for that. I live in deep gratitude of the life that is being lived, because I know that life is larger than my own. I give thanks to Genesis Center for Spiritual Living for actively participating in spreading light to the world, being an offering, being a container for blessings and healing. And I give thanks for Reverend Eric, who has said yes to Genesis, has said yes to that higher calling, to hold that space, to be the light. And so knowing that this is just exactly as it should be, and there's power in it, I allow it to just move out from here, knowing that the rest of this service is a continuation of the blessing and the healing that is the light of God itself, and so it is. Please join me in welcoming our beloved Pete Kirkland.
Yay.
And Second Shot.
Amen. 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 Come on now. Amen. 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 Yes,
as we are getting ready for my talk, and Mike is going to bring the lights down. And if Mike, if you're able to leave the light on the banner over there, but bring these others down, that would be great. Before I start my talk, I just want to say two things. First of all, I want to give a shout out to Karen. What a fantastic job you did this morning. And if you would text me that reference, because I want that last paragraph. That was, yeah, incredibly beautiful, and I want to make sure I know how to find it. Okay, well, and I have to thank you also, because I brought a candle. I was going to light a candle. My talk that today is Candlelight and Firelight, and I walk in and all these candles are here. So there is only one mind, and it's really good. So the talk series for December is Light in the Darkness, and it did make me think of Candlelight and Firelight. And I want to just give you a little timeline. I did a little research, and scientists estimate that humans, or humanoids, creatures basically like us, have existed on Earth for about 2 million years. So if we're here, we go back to 2 million years. And for the first million years or so, that would be this half, first million years, we did not have control over fire. So we were at the mercy of the sun and the moon. And that was it. And that's a long, long time that we lived at the mercy of the deep darkness of night and the deep darkness in the short days of winter and all the scary stuff that we couldn't see around us for a million years. And then after a million years, they estimate, is when we discovered that we could create fire, we could control fire, and we could fend off a bit of the darkness. And then the next major innovation in illumination was candles. And the earliest known candles were made from whale fat and were found in a tomb in China in the year 200 BC. So for almost all the rest of the next million years that we've been here, we just had fire, then we had candles. And this means that the light and warmth from candles and fireplaces was our main source of illuminating the dark for another 2,200 years until Edison invented the electric light bulb in 1882. And I think most of us probably have no sense of what a miracle that was for the people of the 1880s. To light up the dark with electricity. All this is to say that life on Earth would not exist without the light of the sun. This would be a dead planet. And human life on Earth would not have advanced beyond the Stone Age without the discovery of how to control firelight and then the invention of candlelight, which may explain why people with access to electricity still want fireplaces and fire pits and candles. Something primordial in us, going back a million years, still finds firelight and candlelight to be comforting, beautiful, romantic, even magical. And I thought this was a fun fact. The global market in scented candles is valued at over $500 million US. There's a lot of scented candles out there, which tells me that we are far from ready to abandon our first sources of light other than the sun. And let's not forget that candlelight and firelight have been employed by many religions to create a sacred space, a sacred time, or to initiate and complete sacred rituals. There is a Hindu temple on the island of Kauai, and this particular temple is was created by an order of monks. Incidentally, there was this fellow, and he was an American in the early 20th century, and he was the principal ballet dancer of the San Francisco Ballet. And then he went to India and spent many years there and wound up becoming a guru. And he was a guru of the Shiva tradition, this particular Shiva tradition. And at some point, when he was an old man, he was called to go to Kauai and bought this chunk of land up in the hills where there's a beautiful waterfall, and he had an image of a giant Shiva meditating in this land. And he and this little order of monks caused to be built on the island of Kauai a huge Shiva temple. And it's a total miracle because this order of monks was like 12 people. And they had to raise $17,000 a month for like 30 years to pay, because the whole thing was carved, hand carved by carvers in this particular village in India, and all the pieces had to be shipped by the ocean to Kauai. I've been there, and it is incredible. Why am I telling you about this? Because there is a reason, besides the fact that it's an amazing story. In this tradition, there is a sacred fire that is maintained in the Shiva temple, and it can never go out. And that means that some monk is always watching this fire 24/7, that they watch it in shifts. And so that is the convention of this particular order of Shiva monks. The Jewish holiday of Hanukkah is based on the miracle of a vessel of specially consecrated oil lasting 8 days instead of 1 day, the miracle, and keeping the sacred flame going in the Temple of Jerusalem from going out until the oil could be consecrated. So clearly this idea of lighting a fire and never letting it go out, I mean, we have an eternal flame at Tombs of the Unknown Soldier. So it's both a secular and a sacred tradition to light a fire and let it never go out. And it transcends, it occurs in more than one religion. I always find it charming in wedding ceremonies that they include a ritual of the couple each lighting a candle and then joining their candles together to light a single flame. So it has that symbolism of unity. My favorite part of a Christmas Eve service is when the light of the Christ candle is passed around to everyone and the artificial lights go out and everyone sings Silent Night. And then at the end of Silent Night, everybody raises their candles. And this is the symbol that we are, that light of the divine is spread throughout all of us, and that we shine it and we hold that light up in the darkness. So the light of a flame is deep and powerful in us. There was a beloved congregant I knew at Amazing Grace named Janice Smith. And she was in my choir for many years and was a super volunteer. And she passed away 3 years ago, just before I went on a trip to Italy. Now, I knew that she was raised Catholic, although no longer practicing. And I knew that she loved Catholic churches and she loved Catholic rituals, and especially Mary, the Mother of Jesus. So anyone who goes to Italy knows that when you're a tourist in Italy, besides eating really good food, the other thing you know you're going to do is what? Church. You're going to go to a lot of these beautiful churches, right? And that I did. Went to a lot of churches, and just so that you know, the one in Siena is the best. The Siena won the church contest, although the one in Assisi was close second. And what happened was, every time I went into a church, I found the Marian chapel, and I lit a candle for Janice, and I kneeled and said a Hail Mary. And I want you to know, I knew that she knew I was doing that, and that she loved that. The golden glow and the cozy warmth of a fire draws on something deep within the human soul. Ancient, subliminal memories of huddling together for safety, surrounded by a malevolent deep darkness. These memories whisper to us and remind us that we need each other, and that there is a light in the midst of the deep darkness. And it calls us to thank the divine for that light. Another thing about winter in the northern hemisphere, it requires us to slow down. You know, when it's snowing, you gotta drive slower. You gotta pay attention. And it's science. Cold is slower than hot. And winter demands that we come close to the flame, and I would say close to the inner flame. What's the best part of summer camp?
Yeah.
Ghost stories around the campfire.
Yeah.
That's the best part. Color, and what's the best part of holiday decorations? Holiday lights. Anybody else love to drive around? You going along, you come past some house where they made an effort, you know? I was yesterday with some friends over in Hood Canal, and we were driving back at night. We'd gone out there in the morning, and we were driving back after sunset. And there's a little town there. I wish I could tell you the name of it, but there's some little town you pass on the way to the Hood Canal Bridge. And there's a white picket fence that runs like the length of this town, right? And they had put up lights for blocks going all the way down and around. And it makes you happy. Just all those lights. It's so great. Candlelight is hypnotic, and holiday lights are hypnotic. I went this past week to a show at the Seattle Rep, and it's based on the story of how Charles Dickens wrote A Christmas Carol. And at the climax, at the end, there's a real It's a Wonderful Life moment at the end of this show. And they wheel out on stage this big Christmas tree, and it's all lit up, and it's Victorian, and it's got this big lit star on the top, and it was thrilling. It just made me so happy. Jesus challenged his followers to not hide their light under a bushel, but to put it where the whole house could see it. And it was Rabbi Jesus who called us the light of the world. I want to make sure that you hear that I'm here today to remind you that you are the light of the world. You are the light of the world. Rocks are great. You know? Rocks are great. Trees are great. Oceans are great. You are the light of the world. Let your light so shine before men in such a way as they may see your good works and glorify God. That's what you're here for. And I think, you know, in a world where there are a lot of messages that will drag us down, it's really good to be reminded, you're fine, it's okay, it's going to be okay, shine your light, continue to do your best. I know you're doing your best. Yeah, that's another thing. I know you're the light of the world, and I know that you are doing your best. Everybody take a deep breath. Everybody at home, take a deep breath. This is what I know about you. You're the light of the world, and you're doing the best you know how to do. And as far as God is concerned, and as far as I'm concerned, that's enough. Sunlight is great. You know? Love the sun. Without it, we couldn't exist. We couldn't exist, and no other life on earth would exist. Sunlight shines equally on the people doing good and the people doing not so good. But sunlight can be harsh and relentless and blinding and unforgiving. What a blessing it is that we've evolved the intelligence to control fire so that we can see by other qualities of light and other sources and degrees of light. Today, I'm inviting you to remember what a miracle is the gift of fire. Candlelight, firelight, battery light, electric light. Let us then push back the darkness. Let us see things in a different light. When you light a candle in a dark room, it changes everything in an instant. What is faster than the speed of light? Thoughts are like flames, and thoughts can also illuminate. It was the Age of Enlightenment. It was called the Age of Enlightenment for a reason. In the 16th, 17th, and 18th centuries, we were figuring out that science could explain things much, much better than superstition could. And that's what I love about our teaching, because we do not see any conflict whatsoever between science and religion. They're not in conflict. Other people will believe they're opposed. The people who hated Charles Darwin and the discovery of the theories of evolution, they were not happy. They were not happy. They were afraid that science was going to eclipse religion. I think of every enlightened soul, every great soul, as a candle throwing light to illuminate dark areas of the collective consciousness. How great it is that there have been enlightened souls lighting up human history in every land, every color, and every religion. The American physicist Richard Oppenheimer may have unleashed nuclear energy, and that's a great light, but without Mahatma Gandhi's nonviolent philosophy, without the flower power of the 60s, we might have extinguished ourselves by now. We do need both kinds of light. Each one of us has an inner flame. We're made of starlight, firelight, and that light deserves respect and nurturing and encouragement. And from Jewish scripture, we have Psalm 138, which has this to say about divine light. Where can I go from your spirit? Where can I flee from your presence? If I go up to the heavens, you are there. If I make my bed in the depths, you are there. If I rise on the wings of the dawn, if I settle on the far side of the sea, even there your hand will guide me, your right hand will hold me fast. If I say, surely the darkness will hide me and the light will become night all around me, even the dark is not dark to you. For with you the night will shine like the day, because darkness is as light to you. It's a very poetic way of saying that all of creation is made of light, that the protons, the electrons, and the neutrons, even the subatomic particles, are sacred fire, and everything is illuminated. It's just our, it's given to us to perceive light and dark. The Science of Mind textbook contains 58 references to light, 58. And on page 345, this is what Ernest Holmes has to say about light. It is interesting that light, if I was really Ernest Holmes, I should speak in this kind of, he took elocution lessons. I don't know if I could do a good imitation of him, but he would say something like this. It is interesting that light should come with an expansion of consciousness. We all, in varying degrees, enter into this sense, into this illumination. All people have sensed that truth is light. If a prayer could be seen physically, it would appear as a pathway of light. This light was not created. It is not even a psychological explosion. It is something that pre-exists awareness. It's already there. In flashes of illumination, enlightened souls have seen into the very center of reality. And this is what they tell us they have seen. Immortality now, not to be achieved at some future date. God personalized as the individual and the inevitable overcoming of all evil by good, or we might say all darkness by light. So to end, I want to say candlelight and firelight are not as powerful as sunlight. This is true. Not as long-lasting and not having as far a reach. Still, where would we be without these lesser lights? So in this season of lights, when people are lighting Advent candles and Hanukkah candles and solstice candles and Kwanzaa candles and, Burberry, orange peel, cranberry, bourbon, whiskey, pine, mistletoe candles, let us not take for granted these sources of illumination we have been given in addition to the sun. Let us bless the dark places, which are on their way to being lit up in due season. Let us bless those who walk in valleys of darkness. Maybe with this blessing of those who walk by faith and not by sight, something about with just some inner light guiding them, maybe in blessing them, we're also blessing ourselves. Because everyone's been lost in the dark at some point. And as we prepare to prayer, I'm inviting you to take out your prayer request cards. And maybe it's a prayer for you, for someone you know in the dark. We're going to let the band come on up. The lights are low, so, be careful. There's a place for those at home to submit your prayers online. And I want to, while you're writing your prayer cards, it was occurring to me as Karen was preparing us for worship this morning, how grateful I am to have been asked to do this, to be here with you. I really feel blessed. It's about a year for my 1-year anniversary, and we gotta have a new place. Woohoo! I think it's gonna be great. All right. And so I just speak a word of blessing for the dark, the deep dark, the still, the hush that falls over the land when there is snow on the land, and that delicious whisper of snowflakes falling. I bless winter, I bless the dark, I bless the deep dark, and I bless the things that are in the deep dark, and I bless all that is brought forth. I bless this light, this universe that is illuminated by that one light, which is our guide in all things. And I bless that the second we turn to face that inner light, we are so lit that we know exactly what is real and what is illusion. We know what is true, what is false. We know what is good and what is not good. We know what we should do and what we should not do. And we have the will to do that which is ours to do. And so I bless divine guidance, and I bless this season, and know that all is well. And for this I give thanks. And so it is.
I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all the obstacles in my way. Gonna
Thank you, Second Shot, and thank you, Peter Kirkland.
Yes.
Beautiful. One more round of applause. Thank you. All right. So I don't know if we should bring up the lights a bit for this portion of the service. Is that easily done?
Right.
Because now we're going to be moving into our finalizing our prayer cards and our giving. Thank you for shining the light. I appreciate it so much. So if you've not already done so, please take this moment to fill out your prayer card. And remember that as you're filling out your prayer card, if there's anything that you want to share with us, any demonstrations, or anything that you're particularly thankful for, there's the back of the card as well that you can share. Anything that you've given us as a prayer, please know the practitioner body will be praying on that for the full week going forward, holding that truth so it is demonstrated in your life. So once you've completed your prayer requests, let us move into crafting a gift to Genesis. Please remember that our center is supported by God, and we welcome you to be a part of how God's support shows up. If you're on Facebook, please visit our website at genesiscsl.org, or you can text us your tithe to 206-800-7595. Please take a moment for all who are still crafting. So let us, if you would like, go ahead and hold your prayer request and your offering next to your heart as we say our offering blessing together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am thankful. Let us go ahead and stand up as we sing our song, and Andrew will come around and pick up our prayer requests and offerings. So very blessed for these gifts that are offered in love and in kindness. And I know as that they are given, we are so blessed to receive. We are so blessed to receive. And I'm so thankful for these prayers, and I'm so thankful for each and every one of you here and each and every one of you watching online. Thank you, and so it is. Amen. All right. Let us all go ahead and stand on up, and let us sing our closing song together.
I
Have a great, great week, and we look forward to seeing you next Sunday.
Oh,